Laura with Ribbon and Bows on mine. Today we're going to make a cute turkey bow. So to start, I'm going to need 9 inches of 7/8 inch ribbon. And I'll be using 7/8 inch aqua polka, 2 strips of it, 2 pieces of coffee, and 2 pieces of brown. And to start, I'm going to make a loop. So just using a little bit of glue right at the very end and lining the other end of my ribbon up right on top of it without any twerk. I'm going to glue those ends together and then go to the center line that they create and glue right down the center as though I'm making just a very simple tuxedo bow. And I'm going to do that with all of my 9-inch pieces of 7/8 inch ribbon. These are going to be the big feathers on my turkey. Now it may look like I'm using a lot of glue, but I'm trying to go pretty easy because this is a glue-heavy bow. All of our moves are held together in place by glue, which means you don't have to do any sewing. Alright, a little bit of glue at the end, loop it over on top, making sure that it's a perfectly matched up vertical to vertical overlap. And then a little bit of glue in the center to make my really simple tuxedo bow. And there we go, there's all my big feathers. So to make the back of our turkey, we're going to make a kind of flower shape with our loops. We want the glued together centers to be overlapping one another. And we want to make sure that each time we rotate the new piece on top, that we're rotating it just about as much as the move underneath it. And if you've never done this before, it might be a good idea to go ahead and do it without any glue so that you get a good idea for what it's going to look like. And I like to check the space between all of my moves right at the top of those loops to make sure that they're evenly spaced. It's like I want all of the petals of my flower to be just evenly spaced apart right up at the top. That's how I know each rotation is symmetrical. So I like to hold these all in place and then just go in between the layers and add glue. They don't move around too much for me. I think it's because they're so thick and they already have some glue in them, so I found that this is pretty easy to do. So once that's dry, we're going to put it aside and we're going to start on our smaller feathers. So we'll be using 3/8 inch and 4 inches of that. And we won't be making loops, we'll just be making ears. So there's my 4 inches of red saddle stitch, orange saddle stitch, gold Swiss dot, and aqua saddle stitch. So I'm going to make an ear by matching end on top of end, and then put a little bit of glue at the very bottom. And then I want to make sure that it's a perfect overlap without a whole lot of torque on it, because we don't want these feathers to have any kind of flare to them. We want them to really just be like a sandwich folded over taco style loop. And there we go. So here's all of our little feathers. And now we're gonna line them up on a felt dot in alternate colors. So starting with your felt dot, you want your first placement to be at a 90-degree angle. Glue that guy down. And then you're going to overlap the next feather on top of it with a little bit of a rotation, because you want the feathers to fan out like they would on maybe the petals of a flower. And just like our other moves that we just did with the big feathers, we want to make sure that the space between the top of our loops is even, and that's how we know that we're getting an even rotation and a symmetrical rotation each time. So here's a tip for this placement. This fourth little loop is not going to be in the direct center of your turkey, so it needs to just be a little bit to the left of the center line. And with our next move, same thing, just needs to be a little bit to the right of the center line so it's not poking up vertically. And this is looking really good. All of our moves are looking really symmetrical. We just want to make sure we're gluing from a radiated center so that our feathers just kind of radiate out from the back. Alright, and place that last move. And you want to make a straight line across between that red move that you placed last and the orange one. It should look like a straight line. Put a little glue down on top of all of our work and then a felt dot on top of that. Alright, now looking at our big feathers, we want to figure out the cutest placement of our little feathers. And I like to move a little bit down on my turkey's body, so maybe not like right in the direct center, but maybe just a little bit beneath it. And now we want to glue that section of small feathers to our big feathers. And now let's get ready to make the face. So I'm going to use a regular size red bottle cap, 2 googly eyes, and then I'm going to make a beak. But first I'm going to glue down my red bottle cap to the center of my turkey. And this is where you can really see it come together and start looking really cute. So to make my beak, I don't want to have a whole lot of loose ends. So what I'm going to do is kind of like folding the nose of a paper airplane. The fewer ends I have to seal, the more symmetrical and triangular my nose is going to look. So like wrapping the corner of a present or making the nose of a paper airplane, I'm going to glue this move down just like I would do either of those. And use a small amount of glue and press evenly so that it looks really nice on the front. I'm just going to do the same thing to the other side. Add a little bit of glue. Fold that other end of my triangle down. And now I've just got to trim away the excess, very carefully with my sharp fabric scissors. And I'm going to soften the corners that I've made on either end of the beak just a tiny bit. And then I want to seal all of these ends really carefully so that I don't make any big divots with my melted ribbon. I want to be real careful with how I seal. And that's looking pretty good, very triangular. It's a lot easier to do this than it is to cut a triangle out of loose ribbon. So making sure I like the placement of my beak before I glue him down. I'm going to put a little dot of glue on him and go straight for that same spot. Alright, looking like a turkey. So I want to put my googly eyes down before I glue them down, and I like it if they overlap the corner of the beak just a little bit. I think it's got a cute look. And then I want to be evenly spaced so that he looks really good. Make sure I cover up the other corner of the beak too, but that's just personal preference. So now it's time to back everything with felt dots and put our clip on. So add some glue to the back, put your felt dot down, and then looking at the front of your turkey, making sure that your clip is running parallel to your feathers. I'm going to put my clip down. And then once he gets good and dry and kind of stuck in place, like a lot of our other bows, we're going to open up our clip, put down hot glue, and then sandwich down that last felt dot underneath. Okay, he's looking super, super cute. And of course you can use any colors that match your favorite fall outfits, but here are the basic measurements and how we put ours together. We love this little turkey, we think he's really adorable. And he's probably about 3 inches across when he's finished. So you can find all of these supplies and so much more at ribbonandbowsmi.com. Thank you guys so much for watching.